A senator from Hawaii is reintroducing an act that will allow the government to send out critical emergency alerts to Netflix or Hulu. Newsline reporter Danny Hollis joins us now. So Danny, will these alerts be sent to our phones?
Yeah, that's the hope of the act, to reach the people who are busy watching Netflix. But if we're being honest, many of us don't have our own Netflix accounts. It's our roommates, our brothers, our moms. So while the alerts could be sent out during an emergency in a specific geographical area, those alerts might not get to the right viewer.
The sound of the Netflix intro is familiar to most of us. We all like to hit our remotes and chill. And while we're binging on our favorite shows, we don't expect to hear this. But Senator Brian Schatz from Hawaii is trying to change that. This year on Capitol Hill, he will reintroduce the READY Act. The act would explore the possibility of updating emergency alert systems to allow alert pop-ups from streaming services like Netflix or Hulu. There are some concerns, though, about this kind of emergency alert.
Although it sounds like an appealing proposal, in the end what will happen is it'll raise a lot more questions about how viable it will be for the government to regulate content on the internet.
Computer scientist and coder Emily Kwan says that it's possible for FEMA to send out critical alerts this way.
I think it'd be a pretty easy implementation just because the companies can generally just see the location of the users.
But how many of us actually use our own Netflix accounts? Lockheed Martin tech Trenton Hamilton says this would be the tricky part of emergency alerts on streaming services.
So with private networks, it does get a little trickier because the message would just get broadcasted. It doesn't know where it's getting rerouted.
The House and the Senate are currently divided on the READY Act, but you might want to be ready for a future where you could hear this over this.
According to Senator Schatz's team, he is very passionate about this act because of the false missile alarms that Hawaii dealt with less than a year ago. But for now, whether or not we will be interrupted in our binge watching, that all depends on what happens on the Hill. Back to you.
Thanks, Danny.